Do you have a critical eye for assessing sustainability? Do you even know what sustainability in fashion is? We're going to unlock and uncover what it means to be truly sustainable in the industry of fashion. Hey, Haley. Thank you for joining. I'm excited to do this. It is really going to be just spontaneous. We're talking about sustainability. We're talking about what is sustainable, what truly is sustainable. Why Love D.Jenee decided to go sustainable and why we're in this game, basically. So I've invited everybody to the studio. Things have changed a little bit in here. But so what we're doing today is going over what is truly sustainability. Okay. So, just to get it kicking and rolling, I'm going to say what we do at Love D.Jenee to be sustainable. So, first off, we are slow fashion. So slow fashion meaning as soon as people order, we either have it made because it's either a ready wear piece, or we make it in the studio, and I mean me, and we would be the people who I work with and the drop shipping companies that I trust. So a big part of being sustainable is being conscious, and you probably heard me say this as a buzzword many times. This is a conscious fashion brand, not only like of who we are, like we have self-awareness of who we are and our identity, but also conscious of how what we do affects the environment, how it affects our bodies, how it affects how it lasts or sustains, so that we're not wasting it and can stay in our closet for a lot longer. So I'm gonna start by kind of going over what sustainability means just in general, because some people use it as a big umbrella, and and it is a big umbrella. It can be whatever whatever sustains, basically, whatever keeps us going, whatever keeps the earth having renewable resources, whatever keeps us okay. So sustainable is able to be maintained at a certain rate or level, or able to be upheld or defended. And in terms of clothing, sustainability has a lot to do with stuff that lasts. So some of the options that we do have for sustainable practices are thrifting, upcycling, and there's some things that people don't know about practicing sustainability. So a lot of our clothes are made from combinations. So we'll have like cotton spandex, cotton poly tinsel. We'll have bamboo. And when I am shopping for fabrics for my brand, I'm always at the top of my mind thinking about what the fabric is and how it's going to react to your body, to my body, to everybody's. And I think about also how long is that fabric going to last. So a lot of times people just go, I want cotton, I want everything to be cotton, I want everything to be a natural fiber. And that is so beautiful. I really wish that the world was like that, but nothing that we have is non-polluting, right? So even when you're creating, even when they're going through the process of making cotton, they're still polluting the air. So you have to really think about what you are putting on your body. You actually have to do the research for yourself. Go, if you're in the fashion industry and you are interested in actually going into buying fabric, sourcing, doing print design, doing anything, you really need to do your own research. Look up the company, look up what kind of fabrics they use, what process do they use to print, what process do they use to get the fabric through. And a lot of our companies have really good standards. So I actually use Swatch On. Swatch On has been a really good company for me to use. It's in Korea. And they have standards by which they process their fabric and their garments. They're also focused on, becoming even more sustainable as time goes on. So what you really want to do is make sure that when you are, looking into brands and wanting to purchase things, that it's not just the buzzwords of, oh, that's not all natural fibers, or that's not that. Like, some things are really good and they're synthetic. Like, recycled polyester can be really good. And a lot of people, if you do have allergies to like synthetic fibers, just make sure that you look into those labels, because there are some synthetic fibers that don't act well with our skin, but mostly it's those dyes. So it's really important to just go and do the research for yourself. Some polyesters are actually made from recycled plastic bottles, and some cottons are actually made in the worst possible conditions and pollute our water and our air. So it's all about how you look at this. It's all about how you do the research. I'm going to show you some things that I have done as far as a print designer recently, to kind of push past those, just dyeing my fabric, just getting my fabric dyed. Because even though I do practice researching before I go and get hey, all my nephews on here. Hey, DJ. Before I go and purchase fabric, I do research on that fabric, and I go and I look at what these companies are using, what kind of dyes they're using for the fabric. But even then, it's still a water pollution situation. Even when you go to thrift stores, your clothes, they will sometimes take your clothes through a wash process, and that wash process is actually will pollute our waters. So you just have to make sure that when you're doing things consciously, and I mean everything. And it sounds really hard because for so many of us, we've been living life in such an unconscious way. And I'm just trying to open up the world to conscious fashion, and what it really means to be conscious is to really go deep into research, into understanding for yourself. You don't have to know everything, and you'll be forgiven for the things that you don't know. But it is important, before you are making these black and white statements, that you are doing your research. So it's very important. I have recently gotten into doing screen printing again. This is a more sustainable way to print on fabric. So here's an example of a sustainable print. Now, I had this screen made when I was still in college, and it was just very simple because it was my first screen. And this print was actually from a drawing of a plug. Actually, shout out to my husband, Doodle Joy. At the time, we were just friends. He made this print, and in collaboration with me for my first collaboration of Odd Proportions. And I went and just printed the plug part on a screen so that I could start testing print design using screen printing. And I actually hadn't gotten around to it really until this year. So a lot of things kind of take some time to process, but you just got to keep at it. Another thing that I have been using recently is I do use my screen printing ink, but I don't always use a screen. And I stamp my print designs onto fabric. So what you see is it kind of looks like a more organic print design. It's not all perfect and even like a digital print design would be, but it gives the fabric more personality. Another reason why this is a more sustainable practice is because I don't have to go and buy more fabric. I can use the things that are in studio to actually print the things that I see in my mind. And then from there, I can also build and create 3D things out of what I have in my studio. So as you can see from behind me, I have a Cricut machine. And the Cricut machine is good for so many things, for cutting vinyl, for cutting fabric, bonded fabric, for cutting felts, for cutting paper. It's really a really fun machine, especially when you're getting started into the world of cutting and doing vinyl heating things. And so honestly, it's really important to just use what's around you. That is a very good sustainable practice. So I'm gonna show you also. Let's see, I have a stack over here of all my fabrics. Now these aren't all I have, like another thing in another tub in there. And the reason why I don't have even more is because I do practice using up my fabric. So when I make new creations, I will try to use the things that I already have in studio before purchasing more things. Or whatever I purchase will just be something that goes into part of me using that fabric. So if you are to visit our website today, loveDJeneé.com, you will see certain styles like the sim suit. You can purchase that in a surprise or a mystery surprise fabrics, and that just by doing that, you're purchasing an outfit that has fabrics that are already in our studio. So instead of actually going out and me going out and buying fabrics that are being produced consistently still out in the world, we are using the things that we have in here. And so you'll be part of a solution, a sustainability solution, because, somebody else could want something new on the website, but then that fabric, whatever fabric, or scraps are not used, I'm able to use that for a swimsuit that'll be able to be made using scrap pieces and other pieces that are already in the studio. So that is how we practice sustainability. So anyway, if any of you have any questions, be sure to drop your questions down in the comments. If you have any comments, please just don't hesitate to comment something. If you have anything that you want me to kind of talk on or haven't spoke on yet, of course you can bring that to me. But I'm just going to continue to kind of go over what we do to be sustainable. But also I want to go over fabrics. And we do, a lot of times people do have a misconception about fabric and its sustainability. So a lot of times, people will purchase cotton things, right? And because they believe that that's more sustainable for our environment, right? But while cotton is breathable and it's more comfortable, like I have a cotton flannel crew neck on right now, cotton also it degrades faster, basically. And that's great because you don't have to worry about it being in a landfill longer than like a polyester or something that's synthetic. However, that means it won't last for a long time. So you will get more cotton thrown away in our landfills than you will other pieces that last longer. So that is also why it's important for us when we're purchasing garments to purchase things that really fit us well, that really go with us well. And that is why Love D.Jenee is committed to making things made to measure. So not only are we slow fashion and we create once you order, but we also create things that are made to measure, and you also are able to have a free fit return. So while we don't offer refunds because these things are made for you specifically, we do allow for you to send your pieces back so you can get a free alteration. For the first time it's free, the second time you're going to have to pay $25. But the first time that you have an alteration, you can send it back to us free of charge, free shipping, so that you're able to actually wear the outfit that you want for as long as you have it. It's going to sustain because you are buying from a small business, and this business is based on integrity and moving slow. So you always know that whenever you purchase from small businesses, especially small businesses with ethical integrity, you will be able to talk to someone who is able to take that thing back from you and make it work for you for as long as possible. This is something that you're not able to get from big box stores. Now, from those big box stores, what you can do instead of, immediately taking it to Goodwill or Salvation Army, because those are not always the best practices either. Most of those clothes still end up in the landfill. What you can do instead of doing that is go to get your clothes altered. There's so many alteration specialists and people out there who also have small businesses. And if you don't know any in your area, please don't hesitate to comment or hit me up in the DM, and I can send you some people who are alteration specialists in your area. But if you know where dry cleaners are, dry cleaners sometimes will have alterations in their offerings as well. So don't hesitate to go out and ask people, research it on Google. But the main point so we want to be able to keep our clothes in our closet longer. So we want pieces that are staple pieces that you'll want to wear forever, pieces that can be styled with certain different things, pieces that can grow with you, pieces that you can pass down to your children or to your friends or to somebody who you really care about. These pieces are sustainable. Anyway, I get so excited about this topic because this is like one of the main reasons why I do what I do. And also because it really encourages individuality as far as expressing yourself, having personal self-expression. I make highly full of expression clothing, full of color, full of pattern, full of print. So the things that I have are very identifiable. But each time one of my customers or clients or collectors purchase from me, when they show me how they wear it, they all wear it so differently. So you have your own personal fingerprint when it comes to your style and your identity. And you know that when you wear a piece, you can also take it in your closet and wear it so many ways. We've gotten so used to seeing these fashion hauls these days, right? You'll see somebody doing a Shein haul. You'll see somebody doing a H&M haul. You see somebody doing name another company, Forever 21 haul. And essentially what that person ends up doing is returning a lot of that stuff back to the store if they don't like it. Or they just have loads of these clothes stocked up in their closets taking space, and it ends up being waste eventually instead of it being something specific to them. The clothes are so cheap that they're able to buy a bunch of these clothes at one time, and then they end up wasting those clothes right away. So the whole purpose of going sustainable is making sure that even if you are purchasing from a fast fashion brand, you're being conscious of the tags and labels. you're like, okay, well, if I have an allergy to something synthetic, I want to make sure that the blend is high in cotton or high in an organic material. You also want to research how that company processes those fabrics, because even if you do get a cotton t-shirt, that cotton t-shirt might be processed with a bunch of reactive dyes and things that can really harm you and can really cause you to have reactions. So even though they say that it's organic cotton and they say that this is that, you really need to, still make sure that you see what you're getting. And then if you do decide to buy from fast fashion companies, make sure you're buying pieces that will stay in your closet for as long as possible. And if you get a hole or something in your outfits from them, make sure you take them to get altered or fixed or maintained so that you can have that piece for a long time. There's so many ways to shop these days. There's so many, what is it called? There's so many different lanes that you can go in. But just make sure that you're shopping consciously. And that's how you can maintain a sustainable closet. So I know that, I do want this to go a little bit longer. I see Haley has said something. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. Conscious shopping is key. So if you all have any other things to drop in the comments, I would love to, have kind of a dialogue with you on the things that you have taken from today, or something that you might want to share that about sustainable or conscious shopping or conscious fashion. If you know any cool new ways to print design that I haven't mentioned, or anything that you just want to add on to, just let me know. I love collaboration. I love to talk to people about what they're doing, and it also helps me to learn more about this process. I really want to continue to be open and transparent with my brand, and because I want this to be something that continues to be conscious and collective. And I know in order for that to happen, I have to continue to come and do things like this so that we can have dialogues, so that I can record these things and I can share them with other people. Oh, someone got on. Oh, okay. What materials do you tend to use for your garments and why? Okay, Haley, I see your question. Thank you. Okay, so the materials that I tend to use for my garments changes. So the things that I usually go for are cotton twill. I love, when it comes to structure, I love cotton twill. I love wool. I really want to work more with silk because that was really my dream fabric. But sometimes I am now I'm working with rib knit a lot because I love the texture. So that's mainly a rayon, cotton, spandex type of vibe. And my t-shirts are cotton, and they are organic cotton from Swatch On, or recycled cotton from Swatch On. And then we have the netting that I use for a lot of my clothing. I can show you. I'll show you two different kinds. So some of the netting that I use for my clothing, like this, is nylon. Netting is usually nylon. It doesn't usually have spandex in it, but sometimes it does because of the stretch. I make things, of course, for style, but also for comfort and for people to be able to move and, move in these things, and for them to have a nice drape and flow, and for them to last a long time. So it's a combination of reasons why I use these things, or why I use these fabrics. But so you'll mainly see a cotton blend from me, a spandex blend, cotton spandex blend. Sometimes it's poly, depending on what it is. nylon when it comes to netting. Okay, the company that I use for the ready wear, now they are OECOTEX friendly company, meaning that they have a standard for which they process their clothing and their garments. Of course, that fabric is going to be mainly poly because it is a lot cheaper. When you're in this game, this apparel game, when it comes to things being cheaper, you're going to have a lot more synthetic fibers. Those are always labeled on the garments that you purchase. So they make your things to order. The ready-wear manufacturers make your clothes to order, but they will have cheaper fabrics. So but what I do love about those fabrics, when it comes to things being cheaper, you're going to have a lot more synthetic fibers. Those are always labeled on the garments that you purchase. So they make your things to order. The ready-wear manufacturers make your clothes to order, but they will have cheaper fabrics. So but what I do love about those fabrics that I haven't mentioned is that they do last a very long time. And the lasting effects of these things, like I've had my first ready-wear thing that I had was back in 2020. So I first started releasing ready-wear like joggers and sweats and stuff at the end of 2020. But before that, we were dropping like t-shirts, and the t-shirts were probably, I'll say Teespring. They were cotton t-shirts, cotton blend, cotton spandex t-shirts from Teespring, and so that's where you would see, that's the fabrics that you would see from those places. But you will know that I do care about the things that you all get. So not everything that I go and test and print is going to be on my site. So essentially, like, if you find something or if you see something that's not there that I might be wearing one day, like you might see me photoed in it and I might like it, let me know. But usually the reason why I haven't released it is because I didn't like the fit of it, or I didn't really like how the fabric felt. It wasn't really comfortable. And I won't release those things if I don't know how they feel or don't have them. I haven't tested them. So that's what's important. And thank you so much, Haley, for being on this. Next time I'm going to get you on here. Next time we're going to be on here together, and you can talk about the different things that you have, if you still have these things, how they feel. We can have a real conversation with somebody who is a avid supporter of Love D.Jenee and one of my very best friends from college. So I really appreciate everyone for coming on, whether you're here for a second or you're here for even longer. I'm going to, of course, record this or make sure that this is something you can come back and watch. But we'll be doing these more often. At least once a month we'll have an assessing clothing sustainability moment live, something, so that you will be able to have transparency with what we're doing, but also new technologies and things that are coming out that allow for you to get more into understanding how we can do better for our society, our community, and the world when it comes to sustainability. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Haley, we will do this. I see your message. Bye-bye.